When the defendant was speaking to the first responder, the woman, were you there?
Yes.
Did you hear or do you remember the defendant saying anything to the first responder?
Yes.
What did she say?
She told the first responder, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
When she told the first responder, I hit him, how did you react?
I was like startled, kind of like, what are you saying? What are you talking about?
Did you say anything to the defendant?
I think after the second or third time she was saying it, I was like, Karen, like, what are you saying?
Welcome back to Dedham, Massachusetts, and our coverage of the retrial of the century. That's the alleged confession by Karen Reed that Joe Krowski was talking about. That's direct evidence in a case. That's not circumstantial, that's direct. That is an alleged confession if you believe it. Okay, this is the part of the program where we go to our live studio audience, and Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson is with them. What questions, what comments do they have tonight, Matt?
It's a feisty crowd here in Dedham, Massachusetts, just feet from the courthouse. They're raring to go, aren't you? I have Diana Lee from Berlin, and you watched the first trial, like most of you guys here, right? What is your question for Vinnie and the panel?
I sure do. So we talked about facts and evidence and proof a few minutes ago. My question is, the federal investigation is over. Where are the receipts?
Well, we saw over 3,600 pages handed over to the prosecution and the defense team, but also the defense was under subpoena to hand over all of their evidence to the feds. So from what I understand, that's what is over. The subpoena of the defense team to hand anything over would be what's over. We don't know necessarily if the whole federal investigation is over as a whole, because we don't know who the target was. We don't know specifically if it was anyone in the Karen Reed case that was the target of the federal investigation, or if it was someone higher up the command. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to wait to see what happens either in the next few months or a year to come to see if this case is actually over.
It's over, okay? So the only it's over. Leah Foley, essentially, the implication of her comment was, it's over, when she took over that office. She said, their only jurisdiction that they had was to oversee whether or not there was civil rights violations, i.e. police corruption. They presented witness testimony to a grand jury. They brought in forensic evidence. They brought in cell phone extractions. If they were going to hand down an indictment, it would have been done a long time ago. The investigation is over. It's fantasy land to think otherwise.
All right, Matt.
All right, tell us where you're from and what your name is.
My name is Charles. I'm from Boston.
All right, so you watched the first trial as well. What question do you have for the panel and our guests?
So my question is, if you guys were the judge, would you have thrown the case out?
No. If I was the judge, would I throw the case out?
Yes.
Absolutely not. I think Judge Cannone is doing an excellent job, and I really do. Think of how hard this case is. She's dealing with a lot of pressure from the media online, and I think she's been handling herself, and I think she's ruled in favor of both sides. I think she has been. I know you disagree, Nick, but I think she's been very neutral. And no, you wouldn't throw a case out if you're the judge like this, where you've got it's going to be in the jury's hands.
One of the most disappointing aspects of this trial is watching licensed lawyers refer to Judge Cannone as Auntie Bev or Judge Bev. As the defense attorney that's practiced in this county for more than 20 years, you can poll every defense county south of Boston, and they will tell you she is the preferred choice to go in front of. They identified a dog bite expert 6 weeks into trial in trial 1. She let them have it. I know sometimes people don't like the tonality of some of her comments or her size, but they're trying her patience. But to a legally trained expert, she has been absolutely favorable to the defense in the way she's tried these two cases.
You can't say that with a straight face.
Absolutely.
You cannot say she's been favorable to them. How come every time the defense wants a Dauber hearing on the Commonwealth's experts, no, they're good. They can just come in and say whatever they want. But when the defense brings a witness in, yep, voir dires, bring him in, fly them all in, keep paying to have them come here. Why is that?
The appeals court, the SJC, the United States Supreme Court have all looked at her work. And here we are.
That's about polling the jury. That's not about the bias in this case towards the defense or the prosecution.
Give me a specific legal ruling on a specific witness that you have a problem with.
Well, I just told you, just the fact that every defense witness that they brought in, they want the Commonwealth wants a voir dire, and Judge Bev grants it to them.
Okay, let's get to another comment.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have Lindsay from Swansea. What is your question?
So we have heard over and over that when the paramedics, the EMTs, the police officers were at the crime scene, they heard Karen say, or there were a few that heard Karen say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Now, when they were around the body and people were trying to do CPR and all these things, we now know from the meteorologists that there was only maybe max 4 inches of snow.
Enough to track a cat.
Enough to track a cat. So at this point, we know if you live in Massachusetts, there's going to be footprints everywhere. You are riling up that snow. How did they miss 46 pieces of taillight when people are running around trying to save him and they see nothing? You see nothing.
I would say it's an impossibility when there's less than an inch of snow, and they're searching. These guys are experts. They're professionals. They actually have a leaf blower to clear that, you know, half an inch of snow, whatever. They find nothing, and then they search it a second time, and then later on in the day, after the car's in their custody, lo and behold, there's loads of pieces that they endlessly find, you know, when there's loads of snow, and you can even see it from the road. And it's just, I mean, that's really, that is not evidence, and that's not a decisive factor.
Matt, we have time for one more quick comment. One more quick comment.
All right, what's your question and what's your name?
My name's Tina.
Tina, what's your question?
So Karen backed into John, right? It took an instant. Hit his arm. He had all of these lacerations within an instant. How did that happen? Did it explode? Did the taillight literally explode on his arm to cause all of
Margaret, I'll give you 5 seconds to answer that.
One more question.
I would say that lacerations, yes, caused by the glass that he was holding possibly, and the taillight. It's very sharp, those plastic pieces.
Polycarbonate does not.
All right.
I think it looks sharp.
Big thank you. Big thank you to Nick Rocco, Peter Ellikin, Margaret McLean, and of course, Joseph Krowski Jr. When we come back, something else you need to know tonight.